You ever feel it? That twitch in the air? Like something's crawling just beneath the surface of normal. Oh, everyone's walking around, scrolling, laughing, sipping coffee like the walls aren't closing in. But they are. Quietly, cleverly. And while they're too busy chasing comfort, you're here wide-eyed sensing it. Good. That means you're still awake. Awareness, now that's a funny little thing, isn't it? Everyone talks about it like it's some yoga class or a meditation retreat. Be present, they say. Live in the moment. But awareness, real awareness, isn't gentle. It doesn't hum or whisper. No, it screams. It rattles the bones. It claws at your thoughts when everyone else is sleeping soundly. It doesn't bring peace, it brings clarity, and clarity, well, that can be terrifying. Most people walk around like wind-up toys, eyes wide open but completely blind. They stare at their screens, nod when they're supposed to, laugh on cue. Programmed. Predictable. But there's always just a few who see the glitch. They notice when the smile doesn't match the eyes, when the pattern doesn't fit, when the room goes quiet but the air gets heavy. Those people, they're cursed or blessed, depending on how you look at it. See, awareness isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing enough. Enough to see what others miss. Enough to feel what isn't being said. It's the cold breath on the back of your neck when nothing's behind you. The way the hairs rise before the trouble even steps into the room. That's not paranoia. No, that's instinct. It's survival. The kind that doesn't ask questions. It just pulls you out of the fire before anyone else smells the smoke. And people will hate you for it. They'll call you dramatic, too intense, always on edge. Of course they will. Because when you notice the storm forming while they're busy building sand castles, you ruin their illusion. They don't want to hear that the tide's rising. They want to believe the sun will shine forever. But the ones who survived the flood, they're the ones who started building boats when the skies were still clear. Now here's where it gets delicious. Awareness doesn't make you safe. No, it makes you dangerous. Because once you see the game for what it is, you stop playing by the rules, you stop pretending. You start preparing, you move different. You watch the exits, you keep your back to the wall and your mind sharp. And the best part, no one knows until it's too late. You ever see a wolf in a room full of sheep? Quiet, calm, calculating. The sheep laugh, they play, they graze in the open. But the wolf watches, waits. Not because it's afraid, because it knows something they don't. Awareness isn't about noise, it's about control. About knowing when to speak, when to stay silent, and when to flip the whole table and set it on fire. And don't think it's all big moments either. No, awareness is built in the tiny ones. The glance that lasts a second too long. The word choice that slips out too quickly. The shift in tone that most would miss, that's where it starts. Like a puzzle where the pieces don't quite fit, and suddenly your gut is screaming even when your brain hasn't caught up. That gut, that's gold. Trust it. But here's the kicker, they want you blind. They flood you with distractions. Bright lights, loud sounds, endless scrolls of nothing. Keep you busy. Keep you tired. Keep you numb. Because a numb mind doesn't ask questions. A numb soul doesn't prepare. And an unprepared soul, that's easy to control. But once you wake up, oh, they've got a problem. Because when you're aware, you can't unsee. You can't go back. You see the cracks in the smile, the tremble in the hand, the lie hiding behind the compliment. You learn to read between lines, between words, between heartbeats. And suddenly you're playing a different game while everyone else is stuck on level 1. You don't need all the answers, you just need to be present enough to ask the right questions. And when it all comes crashing down, because it always does, it won't be the strongest who make it. It'll be the ones who saw it coming. The ones who moved early. The ones who were already ready before the alarm ever sounded. Not because they had a map. Because they trusted the signs. The shift in the wind. The quiet before the storm. Comfort. What a beautiful little trap. Soft, warm, numbing. It wraps around you like a blanket dipped in poison, just enough to make you feel safe while it slowly rots away your edge. People crave it, they chase it like junkies, convinced that once they have enough of it, life will finally make sense. But it doesn't. It never does. Because comfort isn't peace, it's sedation. You see, the world doesn't collapse in fire and screams. No, it collapses in whispers. In routines. In laughter that doesn't reach the eyes. While you're sinking into your recliner, the floor beneath you is cracking. But you don't notice because your phone is charged, your fridge is full, and your life is fine. That word, that cursed, sugary word, fine. It's the anthem of the blind now. Here's the real joke. People think discomfort is the enemy. Struggle, pain. They want to run from those things like they're diseases. But they're not. They're messages, warnings, tests. And guess what? They work because they wake you up. They scrape the sleep out of your soul and drag you into the now, the raw, the real. Comfort numbs, discomfort sharpens. One kills slowly, the other cuts clean, but people don't want sharp. They want easy. They want predictable. They want to repeat the same cycle every day and pretend it's stability. But it's not. It's decay in disguise. See, when you live in comfort too long, you stop evolving. Your senses dull, your instincts rust. You stop asking what's out there and start asking what's on next. That's not life. That's sedation with a smile. They feed you comfort for a reason. A numb population is a controllable population. Keep them fed, entertained, pacified. Drown them in distractions. Give them 1,000 ways to avoid discomfort. And you'll never have to worry about rebellion. No one revolts with a mouthful of cake and a couch under their spine. But take that comfort away, then the truth crawls out. You ever notice how the most dangerous people are the polar? It's not because they're fearless. It's because they've been stripped of comfort. They've been tossed into the cold and forced to either adapt or die. And in that process, they become something terrifying awake. Not comfortable, not stable. Awake, you think strength comes from lifting weights or screaming into mirrors. Please. Real strength comes from choosing to be uncomfortable on purpose. From stepping out into the unknown while everyone else clings to the familiar. It's walking away from what soothes you and straight into what sharpens you. And doing it again. And again. And again. Until the pain isn't pain anymore, it's power, but comfort doesn't let go easy. It whispers, it seduces, it tells you you've earned it, that you deserve rest. And sure, sometimes you do. But there's a fine line between rest and retreat, between peace and paralysis. Most don't know the difference. They think they're recharging, when really they're rotting, slowly, silently, smiling all the while. And here's where it gets twisted. The more comfort you collect, the more fragile you become. The more you rely on everything being just right, the less you can handle when it's not. You build your life like a house of cards, one breeze away from collapse. Then the storm comes, and it always comes, and suddenly you're screaming, begging for answers you never trained to understand. You want to survive what's coming. Stop worshiping comfort. Stop treating it like a prize. Treat it like a drug. Use it wisely, sparingly. Don't let it run your life. Sit in the dark. Feel the cold. Walk into rooms that scare you. Ask questions that keep you up at night. Because that's where strength is built. Not in the glow of a screen, but in the silence of uncertainty. The system wants you soft, wants you calm, wants you tame. You want to be ready? Then be wild. Be sharp. Be restless. Because once you've learned to be comfortable in discomfort, there's nothing they can use to break you. Not fear, not loss, not even chaos. Because you've already faced it. You've already swallowed it. And now it lives in your grin. Distraction. That's the real weapon, Not guns, not bombs, those are messy. No, they've found a better tool. Something cleaner. Something you even ask for. It's in your pocket, on your screen. In your ears, in your feed. Ding. Buzz, scroll. Repeat. While you're busy watching the flashing lights, something slips behind you, nice and quiet, and locks the door. They don't need to chain you up. All they need is your attention. steal that and they own you. Because where your attention goes, your power follows. Your time, your choices, your focus, it all pours into the illusion. Look over here. Care about this. Get angry about that. Meanwhile, the real game, the one that matters, is happening 2 steps to your left. And you're too hypnotized to notice. Ever seen a magician work? They wave one hand and everyone's eyes go there. But the trick's in the other hand. That's how they do it. Misdirection. Distraction. The oldest con in the book. And it's still working. Because people would rather be entertained than aware. They'd rather be busy than brave. Give them flashing colors and a playlist and they'll stop asking the questions that make systems tremble. You want to know what really keeps you from protecting yourself. It's not a lack of strength, not fear, not even ignorance. It's noise, endless noise, constant stimulation. Your brain is a battlefield and it's been hijacked by clickbait and dopamine hits. They don't want you still because stillness leads to thinking. And thinking leads to questions. And questions, well, that's where the fun begins. There's a reason silence is scary to most. It's in the silence that the truth creeps in, that your gut speaks, that your instincts knock on the door. But most people, they drown that out before it even gets a word in. TV, podcasts, music, gossip, headlines fill every crack with noise. Keep the mind numb, keep the eyes dull. Keep the beast asleep, but you're starting to feel it, aren't you? That weird static under your skin when things are too quiet. That flicker of clarity when you're out of Wi-Fi range. That little voice that says something's off. That's not madness, that's what's real. That's the part of you that hasn't been bought. The part that remembers what matters, and they hate that part. They work day and night to keep it sedated. The truth is, distraction is protection for them. Not for you. They distract so you won't prepare, so you won't question, so you won't feel. Because a distracted soul doesn't see danger, doesn't notice the shift, doesn't hear the gears turning behind the curtain. And by the time they do, it's already too late. The wolves are in the house and the door was left wide open. They've made you comfortable with chaos, addicted to outrage, trained to care about things that don't affect your survival while ignoring the ones that do. They fill your head with celebrity drama while your rights get gutted behind the scenes. They sell you false fights so you never pick the right one. Divide and distract. Distract and divide. Over and over. Until you don't even remember what it felt like to think for yourself. But here's the secret they don't want you to figure out. Focus is power. Undivided attention. That's a weapon. Because when you take it back, when you decide what to look at, what to care about, what to feel, you become a threat. You start noticing patterns, start pulling threads. You begin to see how deep the hole goes. And once you see it, really see it, you don't go back. You'll start hearing things in people's words they didn't mean to say. You'll start spotting the lies hiding behind smiles. You'll see the fear in the eyes of those who pretend to be in control. And all because you chose to look, not scroll, not skim, not swipe. Look. That single act is rebellion now. That's how far they've taken it. So while they're busy trying to keep you dancing to a tune they composed, you'll be learning the rhythm of something older, something truer. You'll stop reacting and start reading the room. And when the lights finally go out, while the world panics, you'll already be moving. Because you weren't distracted. You were watching, listening, learning, preparing. And that, my friend, is what they fear most, the one who was paying attention when everyone else fell asleep. Fear, now that is a misunderstood little monster. People run from it like it's a disease. Hide it, mask it, medicate it, bury it deep beneath fake confidence and plastic smiles. But the joke is, fear's not your enemy. No, no, no. Fear's the only honest thing you've got left. It's not the problem, it's the warning light on a car that's about to explode. Ignore it and boom. You're roadkill with a grin. They taught you to be ashamed of fear. As if fear makes you weak. As if it's something only broken people feel. But let's get something straight. Fear doesn't mean you're broken. It means your senses work. It means something's wrong. And your gut knows it before your mind does. That pulse pounding in your ears, that tightness in your chest, that's the alarm system kicking in, saying, look alive, something's coming. And oh, how they hate that. Because if you actually listened to your sync, if you paid attention to what it was trying to show you, you'd start moving different. You'd start noticing things you weren't supposed to notice. You'd stop smiling at people who mean you harm. You'd stop nodding along while the walls close in. That's dangerous. Not to you. To them, fear isn't weakness. It's signal. Pure signal. Raw data from the part of you that hasn't been tamed. The animal part. The part that remembers what it was like to fight for survival. But what do? They tell you to ignore it, to chill out, to relax, to calm down. Everything's fine, they whisper, while the ground splits open beneath your feet. And if you ignore that whisper long enough, well, you fall and smile. And let me tell you something about those people who say they're not afraid of anything. They're either lying or they're already dead inside. The brave ones, the real ones, they are afraid constantly, but they've made peace with it. They don't run from it, they lean in. Because fear shows you the cracks, shows you where the pressure is building, shows you where the blade might fall. And if you're smart, you don't look away, you want to survive. You want to protect yourself. Then stop using fear as an excuse to freeze. Use it as fuel. When your fear flares up, that's your cue to act. It's the system rebooting, telling you something doesn't add up. Maybe it's a person who smiles too wide. Maybe it's a silence that's too heavy. Maybe it's a plan that seems a little too perfect. Whatever it is, trust the fear. It doesn't lie, but oh no, society doesn't want that. They want you comfortable. They want you soft. They want your instincts buried under yoga quotes and breathing apps. Just be positive, they say. As if good vibes are a shield against betrayal. They want your fear dulled, muted, caged. Because a caged mind doesn't react, doesn't resist, just nods and pays taxes and swipes right and never ever asks why the sky feels like it's falling. Here's the thing they don't tell you. Fear sharpens you, makes you listen harder, look closer, move smarter. Fear wakes you up. And once you're awake, they can't put you back to sleep. You'll notice how fast people change when you stop playing dumb. You'll hear the threat in their silence, see the malice behind their kindness. And once that switch flips, you're no longer food, you're a blade. You can smell real fear. Not the trembling kind, the aware kind, the kind that's quiet, alert, calculating. That's not panic, that's power. That's someone who knows what's coming, who's felt it before. Who's ready for the next move while everyone else is still laughing at the setup. That kind of fear. That's survival wrapped in instinct. Let them call you paranoid. Let them say you're overthinking it. That's what they always say before the lights go out. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're just listening to a voice they've spent your whole life trying to silence. The one that whispers, not safe, not right, not now. That voice is ancient, older than your name, older than the lie they sold you called comfort. You want to make it through what's coming. Don't kill your fear, hone it, feed it. Let it guide your eyes to the places they don't want you to look. Let it walk you into the dark corners everyone else avoids. Because it's there in the shadows where you'll find the truth they've been hiding in plain sight. And once you see it, really see it, you'll understand why they spend so much time trying to keep you from ever looking. Hope. That shiny little drug they sell you in bite-sized slogans and motivational posters. Hang in there. Believe in yourself. Everything happens for a reason. They hand it out like candy to a starving crowd, and everyone gobbles it up like it's the cure. But it's not the cure, it's the distraction. It's the smokescreen. Because real hope, oh, real hope is messy, it's ugly, it bleeds. It crawls out of the wreckage with broken teeth and a crooked grin. Not some angel in a sunbeam with perfect hair and a gentle voice. They want you to think hope is soft, gentle, harmless, but it's not. Real hope is dangerous. Real hope sets fires. It doesn't soothe you, it shakes you. It wakes you up in the middle of the night whispering, you were meant for more than this. Not in a sweet little bedtime story way. No, in a way that ruins your peace and tears your comfort blanket in half. But here's the twist, they don't sell that kind of hope. No, they package the fake stuff. The hollow version. The kind that keeps you waiting. Hoping someone else will fix it. Hoping things will get better on their own. Sit tight. Stay calm, think positive. It'll all work out eventually. That's not hope. That's sedation. That's a lullaby to keep you from noticing the ship's on fire. The kind of hope you need. It's not a dream. It's not a feeling. It's a decision. It's waking up and choosing to fight when every part of you wants to disappear. It's looking at the mess and saying, I'm not done yet, even when your hands are shaking and your voice is cracking and everyone around you is laughing. That kind of hope doesn't ask for permission. It breaks in through the back door with blood under its fingernails you took. It's not. It's for the desperate, the broken, the ones who've seen too much to believe in fairy tales but still refuse to lie down and die. That's what makes it terrifying. It means you haven't given up even though you should have. And they hate that. They hate the ones who keep standing up because you can't control someone who still believes they've got a shot. You see it sometimes in the eyes of people who've been through hell and somehow came back sharper. Not softer, not kinder, sharper. That's what real hope does. It doesn't make you gentle. It makes you relentless. It turns you into a problem. Because when someone carries that kind of hope, they don't beg. They don't whine. They build. They tear down the walls and kick the hinges off the door. The system doesn't know what to do with someone who still believes in themselves when the numbers say they shouldn't. When the experts say it's over.